Islamist terrorists are hunting down Westerners in India's most luxurious hotels.
It was covered in thick blood.
A coordinated attack by bloodthirsty killers has brought a buzzing metropolis to a grinding halt.
This was India's 9/11.
Mumbai is in flames. There is panic on the streets. And as the death toll rises, confusion reigns.
They didn't know at any time if it was going to be someone to save them or it was going to be someone to take them out.
Hopelessly outgunned, the local police are no match for the heavily armed terrorists.
The baddies had the guns, the goodies had nothing.
There is only one unit capable of rising to the challenge.
You can't use maximum force. It has to be precise force.
But it will take all their training, raw courage, and superhuman endurance to win the day.
These were some extremely motivated and brave men.
This is the dramatic story of Operation Black Tornado. The mission that puts India's elite black cats on the Special Forces map. Islamist militants are heading for the city of Mumbai, formerly known as Bombay. Their intent? To target Westerners throughout the city in a coordinated terror strike that will result in an orgy of death and destruction. Mumbai is the richest, most populated city in India. It prides itself on its Western influence.
Mumbai is a busy, crazy, hectic, wild place, absolute assault on the senses.
Mumbai, to Americans, is considered a wealthy city, home to Bollywood, home to luxury hotels, luxury boutiques. It's considered an investment city.
Between 8 and 8:30 p.m., a gang of 10 men, all heavily armed and with provisions to last days, slip ashore at this point, just minutes away from their intended targets, in the heart of the city. The evening is like any other, bustling and busy as people hit the streets and relax after work. British tourist Anish Patel is enjoying a few drinks with a friend at the world-famous Leopold Cafe.
The Leopold Cafe is a very popular bar cafe where a lot of Westerners, locals and tourists meet for food and drink. I recall from walking into the bar, it was completely packed.
Local journalist Surav Mishra was also enjoying a drink when he saw two visitors that weren't there for the beer.
But I saw people moving around, quite a few people moving around. They seemed out of place to me.
Must have been 15, 20 minutes in. Suddenly I heard a gunshot and what sounded like a lot of glass dropping at once.
I just hear ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and then something hits me.
Two gunmen are firing AK-47s from the doorways, spraying the cafe with bullets.
A lot of shouting and screaming, people rushing around.
When I came out of the door, I realized there's something which is holding me back. Then I see that blood is flowing out of my body.
There were a lot of bodies. The floor was just covered in thick blood. And then suddenly everything went silent. And clearly the guy was reloading. And it's during that round that I was hit.
After a sustained attack, the gunmen flee into the night, leaving the dying and the wounded to their fate.
It really was a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Across town, a taxi carrying two more gunmen heads for the crowded central railway station.
The Victoria Terminus would be akin to an attack on Grand Central.
I think the targets are fantastically well chosen. I think if you look at the station, that's the busiest station in Mumbai.
Mingling with the people they intend to kill, they walk through the crowded passenger hall. At 21:53, the gunmen pulled AK-47 assault rifles from their bags and unleashed a devastating hail of bullets into the crowd. "104 people were injured and 58 were killed."
My first reaction when I saw the shots, I told my wife, I said, this is not gang warfare. This is a terrorist attack.
What took people by surprise was the fact that the way Mumbai was chosen, very clearly designed to show that nowhere is safe in India anymore.
It is now clear that Mumbai is under a sustained terrorist attack, but no one knows who is behind it or where they will strike next.
We begin with a mass terror attack in India's largest city, Mumbai.
Millions watch as the events unfold live across India's news networks.
Well, this is clearly an unprecedented scale of a terror attack on Mumbai, and the center.
One viewer is Jyoti Krishan Dutt, the Director General of India's elite National Security Guard. And after watching the events unfold, he orders his Black Cat commandos to stand by. Nicknamed the Black Cats because of their distinctive uniforms, the National Security Guard commandos are the ideal unit for the situation.
The National Security Guard was set up around the mid-1980s when India actually first faced the threat of urban terror.
The Black Cats have two principal areas of expertise: counter-terrorism and counter-hijacking. They are also experts in hostage rescue.
The NSG is a highly specialized force designed and structured on the lines of some of the world's key anti-terrorism special units like the SAS, GSG-9, the US Navy SEALs.
The men are all drawn from the Indian Army.
Everybody in the NSG who comes to join the organization is a volunteer. Right? And he's put through a probation at Manesar, which is 30 kilometers south of Delhi.
All recruits are put through a rigorous screening process, assessing physical fitness, shooting standards, and psychological profiling.
They look at people who have commando mindsets and therefore are willing to do the unusual in unusual circumstances. So they look for people who are out of the box.
Those who are left, then they are put through a brutal regime of physical training, special operations training, like for example, room shooting practices, building interventions, bus intervention, metro intervention, and bomb disposal training.
And it takes anything up to 1 year for a soldier to be fit to be employed operationally.
Their extensive skills and specialized training make the Black Cats India's elite special forces unit and the ideal troops to take on the terrorists in Mumbai.
They are daredevils, they are first-rate troops, and I can vouch for that.
But the question is, how will they deal with a gang of well-armed, committed terrorists spread out across India's busiest city? Mumbai, 26th of November 2008. Reports are coming in of a series of gunfights and explosions.
At 9:15, armed with AK-47s, gunmen launched their first attack.
The city is under a prolonged and remorseless attack from an unknown number of highly armed and rapidly mobile terrorists.
One did not exactly know where and what was happening, and whatever information we were getting was from the media.
The Leopold Cafe has been hit. So has the main train station. Now, there are reports of gunfire at a local hospital and a police station. Time bombs left in taxis by the terrorists detonate in different parts of the city. Reports are already coming in that 74 people have been killed and 147 wounded.
I think within 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, I was absolutely sure that this was a huge story, possibly the biggest terror attack in India.
At this stage, the authorities have no idea what is going on. Instead, the best intelligence is from social media.
It was really the first time that Twitter played a very big role in our news coverage. People posting links to cell phone images, people who were giving first-hand accounts.
From the sheer number of messages, the scale of the attacks and sense of panic on the ground is obvious. But with so much conflicting information, it is impossible for the authorities to build up an accurate intelligence picture. BBC correspondent Mark Dummett was scrambled to the scene of the attacks.
It was stunning. It was shocking that this was going on in India. It was so confusing because it was taking place in lots of different locations. I mean, at that stage, even the government had no idea what was going on.
The sudden assembly of the world's media means that there is now mounting pressure on the Indian authorities. It later became clear that grabbing worldwide attention was a key part of the terrorists' plan.
It was meant to last a long time. It was meant to attract the attention of the world.
Gunfire, explosions, and terror in Mumbai.
The timing played perfectly into a Western news schedule.
119 people have been killed and 315 wounded, including 3 Americans.
Remember, it happens at night in Mumbai. It's daytime in New York.
The global media coverage adds to the sense that the Indian government has lost control of the situation. Over 1,000 kilometers away in Delhi, India's elite Black Cat commandos are on standby and waiting to deploy. But until the Director General, J.K. Dutt, is tasked by the government to launch a counter-terror operation, they are powerless to intervene. In Mumbai, the situation is escalating. 2 hours into the attacks, the terrorists target 2 of Mumbai's most famous hotels, the Oberoi Trident and the Taj Palace, home to around 830 guests. Completed in 1903 at a cost of over £127 million in today's money, the Taj Palace Hotel is Mumbai's greatest landmark. Built by J.N. Tata, the father of Indian industry, the hotel has 560 rooms and 44 suites. It was also the first hotel in India with a steam-powered elevator. From royalty to rock stars, princes to presidents, the Taj has always been home to the world's elite. An attack on such a landmark building will have far-reaching implications.
You get a lot of bang for your buck. More specifically, you get Americans, you get Brits. And we know that that was really the goal here, was not just to send a message to the Indians, but also to send a wider message to the international community.
Reports come in of shootings and explosions at the city's iconic Taj Palace Hotel.
I think the image that's burned into everyone's mind of this incident, of this event, is that of the Taj Palace Hotel and the flames coming through the roof.
Whenever anybody talks of Mumbai terror, this is the shot. Taj on fire.
With Mumbai's greatest landmark up in flames, the terrorists are delivering a clear message. Nowhere is safe.
The fear factor was very high, which is always one of the very first goals of these kinds of attacks.
Mumbai's first line of defense is the local police force. But this coordinated attack totally exceeds their training, and they are overwhelmed.
Some of the senior policemen had been caught up in the violence, and the head of the anti-terrorism squad from Mumbai had been shot dead.
When you are dealing with, hardcore, highly motivated terrorists who are willing to die and who have been well trained, well equipped, it is difficult to, handle those guys if you are a normal policeman.
Until the Black Cats are called in, the only other special forces on hand are a few units from the locally based Marine Commandos, the Marcos. But they can do no more than try to contain the situation.
The naval commandos are not meant to operate in these situations. They are for a different purpose altogether. So therefore, the militants had the freedom to move anywhere inside the hotel.
With the city's police in complete meltdown and no one to stop them, the terrorists continue on their rampage at the Oberoi and the Taj Palace hotels. After setting rooms on fire and indiscriminate shootings, the gunmen hunt down more valuable targets.
They were targeting British, American, European travellers.
The hotels are full of Westerners and VIPs. This presents them with the possibility of extremely high-profile hostages. British businessman Tim Reed was trapped inside the Oberoi Hotel.
When I heard the terrorists getting closer to me, my legs were shaking uncontrollably, and all I could think about was how painful might it be to be shot, how quickly would it end, and thinking about my family and my 8-month pregnant wife.
Over 1,000 kilometers away in Delhi, the Director General of India's elite counter-terrorism unit, the Black Cats, is aware of the developments. He has been impatiently watching the unfolding scenes on TV, desperately awaiting government authorization to deploy.
There was a reluctance on the part of the government in Mumbai to come to terms with the level of attack that was taking place.
As the death toll rises, 83 people have been killed. 90 minutes after the attacks begin, the phone finally rings. A formal request comes in from the Ministry of Home Affairs just before midnight. The Black Cats are at last operational. 200 NSG troops suit up and do weapons checks.
From the time the word go is given to the time you reach an aircraft, you should be there within half an hour. So within 70 minutes you should get airborne.
Then they race to the airport. But they are based outside Delhi, over 1,000 kilometers from Mumbai. It's going to take 3 hours to get there. En route, they must start planning the operation. But they still don't know who they're up against, how they're armed, or what their aims are. At this point, their only source of information is the press.
Gunfire can be heard from inside the Taj Mahal Hotel. Another sign that the attackers were well armed and well prepared to launch what some here are calling India's 9/11.
By dawn, on Thursday the 27th of November, hundreds of journalists had arrived at the besieged Taj Palace and Oberoi hotels, where up to 830 guests are staying.
I remember the rope line coming up outside the Taj for the journalists. In hindsight, it wasn't very safe. It was not, the distance was not very far.
You know, some of the bullets, sort of flew overhead. So maybe we shouldn't have been there.
And we knew it was serious. The Taj was under siege. The other hotel, Oberoi, was under siege. People were trapped inside.
I think everyone was in shock. People didn't know what was going to happen next.
In the absence of any official government announcement, people begin speculating as to who is behind the attacks.
Originally, when we first reported the story on the very first day, the fact that there were multiple targets and multiple sites involved, these were all Al-Qaeda hallmarks.
All of a sudden you had an attack by gunmen. We didn't know how many, how well armed they were. There was a strong suspicion, as there always are when there's an attack in India, that it was by Pakistanis, but we didn't have confirmation of that.
Whilst the Black Cats are in transit, there's a breakthrough. Indian intelligence intercepts cell phone conversations between the gunmen and their controllers. From this, they learn the controllers are based in Pakistan. Now they know who is behind the attacks and what their aims are.
This was an attack by LET, a Pakistani terrorist group also known by the name Lashkar-e-Taiba. And their whole mission is to campaigned for the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and also for the release of Muslims and to free Kashmir.
The region of Kashmir in the northwest of India also borders Pakistan, and its ownership has been heavily disputed by the two countries for over 60 years.
The general impression in the West was that the Lashkar-e-Taiba is a Kashmiri liberation organization. It is not. It's a Pakistani jihadi organization.
This militant organization had been involved in previous attacks on Indian soil, including train bombings and an attack on the Parliament building in Delhi.
An Islamist attack on India's parliament in 2001 left a dozen people dead and prompted India to send 1 million troops to the Pakistani border.
The Lashkar has three enemies: the Christians, the Jews, and the Hindus. It's also a philosophy that Al-Qaeda believes.
Now they know who's backing the attacks. The security forces know the terrorists' mission won't end in surrender.
They came to die, perhaps. And when you are in that state of mind, then it becomes a little tough to deal with the guy.
Just how fanatical the terrorists are is made clear by intercepted cell phone conversations between the terrorists and their Pakistani-based handlers, transcripts of which were later declassified.
Everything is being recorded by the media. Inflict the maximum damage. Keep fighting. Don't be taken alive. Kill all the hostages except the 2 Muslims. Keep your phone switched on so we can hear the gunfire. Kill them.
The gunmen at first were firing an incredible number of rounds, and they seemed to be very heavily armed. I heard the gunfire getting closer and closer and fully expected them to find me.
In the lobby of the Oberoi Hotel, guest Tim Reed watched as 9 staff and 3 guests are gunned down.
That was when I realised that something fairly bad was happening. And it was one of those occasions where everything moves in slow motion. I backed against the corridor looking for somewhere to hide. There really wasn't anywhere. There was a slight recess that I was able to hide in, but literally if I'd been any more than my 11 stone, my stomach would probably have been poking out from that.
Miraculously, the gunmen passed right in front of Tim.
At that point, they must have been, 5, 6, 7 feet from where I was, but they weren't looking for me, they were looking at the restaurant.
As 13 diners are being murdered in the restaurant, Tim makes a desperate break for it.
And I think of all the times in the whole incident, this is the only bit where I actively contributed. I was a participant who was in charge of what was happening. And there was a lift between myself and where the gunmen were. I was able to reach out and touch the call lift button. All those years on the Nintendo practicing with my rapid finger movements were put into action as I hit the closed door button about 2,000 times in quick succession. We pressed the lower lobby on the lift button, and then when the doors opened, we just ran. And I think that is really probably the abiding memory, the one that haunts me probably more than any other, because you're running and you just don't know what's behind you. When I ran out of the Oberoi Hotel onto the street, there were thousands of people panicking, running one way and then running again when the next grenade went off.
3.5 hours into the attacks, and chaos and confusion continue to grip the population of Mumbai. And the terrorists have one other target. This is the Chabad House, a Jewish community centre and synagogue, located in a 5-story building down a densely populated narrow street. It's home to American-born Rabbi Gavriel Holtzberg and his wife Rivka, who is 6 months pregnant. This Chabad house is one of 4,000 such houses in 73 countries, typically run by husband and wife couples. Opened in 2003, it largely catered for Israelis on their way to party hotspots, such as Goa and Rajasthan. But is open to anyone who wanted a place to pray, eat kosher food, or celebrate Jewish holidays. Information from the intercepted cell phone conversations prove it is seen as a key target by the controllers.
Every individual you kill there is like killing 50 elsewhere. Get rid of those people. Kill them. You never know. Firing may start and they may be left behind. By God's wish, it is all quiet. No movement here. No, don't fight.
The controllers urge the terrorists on to kill Jews.
Have you done the job or not? I will do it now in front of you. I was waiting for your call. Do it in the name of God. Do it in the name of God. You killed one? Both together.
Rabbi Holtzberg and his wife Rivka are murdered, along with their unborn child. 4 others are taken hostage.
They got Americans who also were Jews. So in one fell swoop, they sent a whammy of a message. They had even said later that an American Jew, or a Jew alone, was worth 50 of anybody else.
Meanwhile, across Mumbai, in the luxurious Taj Hotel, the terrorists can be heard enjoying themselves in the intercepted cell phone conversations.
Did you see the paintings on the wall? The bathrooms have gold taps. There are TVs with 13 screens.
Obviously, they were kind of overwhelmed by the luxury, and the Taj, of course, is really the epitome of luxury in terms of hotels in India.
It's ironic that human life was not considered valuable, but that wretched TV was.
The level of coordination is revealed as the controllers issue orders.
I can't see any flames on the television pictures. I said set fire to them.
Arriving in Mumbai at 5 a.m., 8 hours after the attacks began, J.K. Dutt and his senior Black Cat officers set up a command post and start planning their operation.
The government comes in to tell you what the task is. Thereafter, the place and time of the operation is decided by the force commander.
Dutt and his team quickly assess the situation. They know they are dealing with 3 locations: the 2 hotels and the Jewish Outreach Center.
The targets were split. And the main target, the Taj Hotel, was a huge, big area.
But they are hampered by a lack of information. There are no detailed floor plans of the hotels available, and no one even knows how many terrorists or hostages are still holed up in each location.
Mumbai was administratively in a state of paralysis for some time, and no information was provided to them actually of the target area. So they had to do a lot of guesswork and improvise, which took a huge amount of time.
What makes it worse is that their enemies clearly know the locations better than they do.
To my mind, somebody had wrecked the place. Taj Palace was a specific target. The Trident was a specific target. Chabad House was a specific target.
The problems become clear when the Black Cats try to establish a perimeter around the target buildings. The locations have been well chosen. All are in heavily built-up areas.
Right in the center of Bombay, with roads, population, buildings, all sorts of things all over the place.
The Chabad house is in a narrow street. With one entrance, it is easy to defend and difficult for the Black Cats to storm without endangering the lives of the hostages.
You cannot go with all guns blazing in a scenario like this. No, certainly not. You can't use maximum force. It has to be precise force.
The hotels, on the other hand, have multiple entrances and exits.
Hotels are even more difficult to clear out because there are hundreds of rooms and you have to go from room to room to room.
Even worse, the eyes of the world are upon them. Orders are given to minimize collateral damage. And yet somehow, the Black Cats have to hunt down the terrorists. It's the second day of the Mumbai terror attacks. Pressure is now mounting on India's elite counter-terrorism unit, the Black Cats, to pounce.
The terrorists can definitely not win. Let's get that absolutely clear.
You've got to hit them hard and immediately. after that, he knows that either he's going to be captured or he's going to die.
With the lives of hundreds of guests and hostages at stake, meticulous planning and preparation is vital.
I think it's very hard to imagine the kind of logistical challenges that were involved in locking down all of these sites.
In his final briefing to his officers, J.K. Dutt, the head of India's National Security Guard, has 4 key points. No loss of innocent life. Try and take the terrorists alive. Minimize collateral damage. And screen hostages to prevent terrorists slipping through the net. With the plans finalized, Black Cat Commando squads are deployed to the Jewish Chabad house and the 2 5-star hotels. When completed in 1973, the Oberoi Trident Towers building was the tallest skyscraper in South Asia. At 116 meters with 35 floors above ground and 547 guest rooms, it is hugely popular with the world's business elite. Leaving the police and marine commandos guarding the perimeter, the Black Cats swing into action. And at 6:20 a.m., they enter the Oberoi Hotel. Operation Black Tornado is underway.
So the energy had to make its way through multiple rooms, multiple floors, like all 5-star hotels.
With no detailed plans of the hotel, they are forced to improvise.
It's a massive building, right? And whatever information they got of the hotel and its layout would be from the hotel staff.
The NSG use the service stairs and climb to the 21st floor.
We generally prefer to tackle a target from a higher to a lower ground.
Now they start a top-down sweep of the hotel. They move down through the building, clearing each floor as they go, gradually herding the terrorists into a corner. But it isn't easy.
You have to identify these people, otherwise you will end up killing some guests inside the hotel.
Armed with German Heckler & Koch MP5 submachine guns, the men begin the meticulous room-by-room search of the hotel. As guests are rescued, they're shepherded to safety outside. Transcripts from the intercepted cell phone conversations between the terrorists and their controllers reveal what happened. 8 hours after entering the hotel, at 2 p.m. on the 18th floor, the terrorists are finally caught by the Black Cats.
The room is on fire. I'm in the bathroom. Try breaking out using a grenade. Use up both grenades. Be brave. Don't be afraid. God and heaven are waiting for you. Willing.
We try and capture the terrorists alive if it is possible, so that you could get maximum information. But if it is not possible, so be it.
Part 1 of Operation Black Tornado to free the Oberoi Hotel is a success. Although 24 guests were murdered, both terrorists have been killed and 143 guests rescued. A mile away, across the city, the Black Cats are in a standoff with the terrorists at the Jewish Center. Having locked down the perimeters, they are unwilling to storm the building and endanger the lives of the hostages. They are further hampered by the media, who are inadvertently providing free intelligence to the gunmen.
What was very interesting about the way these attackers operated was the fact that they were monitoring the press.
It was all live. There was no time delay between what was being shown and what was being reported.
This meant the controllers were able to alert the terrorists to the helicopters buzzing the building. After carefully analyzing the intercepted traffic, intelligence agents believe all the hostages may have been executed. In the full glare of the cameras, they launch an aerial assault.
The people who organized this operation were watching those tapes and telling people inside on mobile phones that, look guys, there is a commando operation, aerial commando operation coming in.
At 7:30, NSG commandos fast rope from an Indian Air Force helicopter onto the roof of the Chabad house. The assault is captured on the cell phone intercepts.
Firing has started. I think there is a helicopter on the roof. Take cover. Move now. Do it. Do it.
With suppressing fire from the terrace and covering fire from snipers, they begin hunting down the terrorists.
They're firing into our roof. Peace be upon you. I have been hit. I have been hit. Pray for me. Where have you been hit? Where have you been hit? In my side and in my neck.
After a fierce gun battle, both terrorists lie dead. The Black Cats have scored another success. The terrorists in the Oberoi hotel have been neutralized. So have the terrorists in the Jewish Chabad house. The Black Cats now face their greatest challenge: the imposing and iconic Taj Palace Hotel.
I think for Americans, the Taj Palace Hotel could be equivalent to the Park Plaza, the Waldorf Astoria.
Because there are hundreds of rooms and you have to go from room to room, floor to floor. It's an enormous task.
Guests inside the hotel include VIPs and politicians. Their caliber and status compounding the difficulty of the operation. Not only are they potentially valuable hostages, they're amongst the world's elite. Any mistakes here will be hugely embarrassing.
What is important for the troops there is to make sure that whenever they use their weapon, they do use it properly, and that no collateral damage or no innocent civilian is killed.
In this kind of a scenario, killing a terrorist does not become a priority. Priority is to take the hostages out.
The NSG assess their options. They can't simply storm the hotel. They need a methodical approach. But for this, they need detailed floor plans. Yet once again, they don't have them.
The problem was that the NSG was not provided with any maps of the location, because apparently those maps are not available either with the hotel or the civil administration.
The only information the NSG could pick up were basic hotel room guides. They didn't show service lanes, passages, or corridors. However, the terrorists clearly knew the Taj Palace layout inside out.
I give full marks to the planners there sitting across the border.
They had this operation meticulously planned months in advance.
They say all warfare is based on deception, and they were completely, they surprised everybody.
The Black Cats realize the terrorists can use their superior knowledge of the Taj's layout to their advantage. By only operating from areas with multiple exits, they will be difficult to contain. So with the odds stacked against them, and not even knowing how many gunmen they are facing, the Black Cats prepare to move in.
Once they're given the word go, they don't look back, they don't say that I don't have intelligence. Whatever they have, you make do with that and you just get on with it.
Trying to locate the terrorists and free the hostages means breaking into and clearing all the rooms.
Every step was an obstacle for them. I know for a fact a lot of doors were jammed.
Therefore, you will have to prepare an explosive device to break open the entrance.
This is a painstaking process. It will take time to thoroughly check each area. And in a hotel with over 500 rooms, this could take days.
That had to be done very methodically and carefully, and that is why they took a lot of time.
To make matters worse, hotel guests have been told to lock themselves in their rooms. Most people are too scared to open their doors, terrified of who may be on the other side. As the Mumbai terror attacks move into their third day, the battle for the iconic Taj Palace Hotel is raging.
They came to cause maximum damage, and because it was a televised operation, the whole world is watching for 60 hours, they wanted to prolong it as long as possible.
India's elite Black Cat commandos are battling an unknown number of terrorists who are well armed and highly mobile.
Here was India sending in its top troops. And I suppose we thought it'd be over pretty quickly.
But with over 500 rooms to clear and hundreds of terrified guests hiding throughout the building, this cannot be a quick operation.
What we didn't know is when it would end. And by the time the siege went on and on and on, we realized this was getting very sticky.
Moving through the hotel, the Black Cats need to keep their tactics fluid and respond to situations as they arise.
When you're a soldier, you go into an operation, you will give your best for first 12 hours. After that, you'll start tiring out. But despite that, they went on, and I take my hat off to them, what they did. I think they were against all odds.
By midnight on the 28th of November, the Black Cats have been fighting for 30 hours. They have rescued over 200 guests and led them through the corridors to safe areas. Now, they can focus on the remaining terrorists.
We are going through the entire hotel, through the corridors, through the rooms, until we are able to check each and every room. I will not say that my operation is over.
With 90% of the hotel now cleared, the Black Cats believe they've cornered the remaining terrorists in one wing of the hotel. Heading up a staircase, contact is made. It's an ambush. They're caught in the crossfire. The Black Cats have a senior man killed, Major Sandeep Unikrishnan. Spurred on by his death, the Black Cats press on, forcing the terrorists to fall back. In the early hours of Saturday, the 29th of November, 56 hours after the terrorists entered the hotel, there are a series of loud explosions. But for the world's media assembled outside, it is unclear what is happening.
We were given briefings by the chief of the commandos.
When we first exchanged fire, we could have got those terrorists, but for trying to avoid the casualty of those civilians, we had to be that much more careful in our firing.
Information was very scanty. It was very sketchy because it was a siege situation. The commandos had gone in inside and there was a lot of fighting going on.
It was slightly strange. We were reporting on a battle which was going on in a building just a few hundred yards in front of us. But we couldn't see the battle because it was all inside.
But one thing is clear. For the terrorists, every second on TV is a victory, as the intercepts show.
The atmosphere is good. After watching the TV reports, the whole city is feeling the destruction. More than 250 are injured across the city. You have worked well for God.
They came to cause maximum damage. And because it was a televised operation, whole world is watching for 60 hours. They wanted to prolong it as long as possible. So they had come for that.
Finally, after 2 straight days of fighting inside the hotel, the Black Cats have cleared entire floors and are pressing the terrorists hard.
Our commandos are so very well trained, there is no question of the terrorist escaping. So the problem is, find out where he is, spot him, and fix him.
By now, the Black Cats have also learned one critical piece of information from the intercepts. There are 4 terrorists in the hotel, and they're steadily eliminating them.
So people began to count, one more knocked out, one more knocked out. So the body count was being kept track of. That was a sign things were coming to an end.
By dawn, on the 29th of November, the siege is in its endgame. There are just 2 terrorists left, and they are cornered on the first floor. In an intense exchange, the Black Cats fire a hail of bullets into the terrorists' position. Outgunned and outmaneuvered, the terrorists' deadly onslaught of murder and mayhem is finally over. After 3 days, and the death of 170 innocent people, as well as the serious injury of 304 more, the city is left with terrible scars.
How dare somebody from across the border come right into the heart of the country and kill innocent people for what?
The killers who struck this week are brutal and violent, but terror will not have the final word. People of India are resilient. People of India are strong.
The comparisons to 9/11 are fair. I think they're valid. I think this is India's 9/11. I think if any good came of this, it's that India was forced to have a day of reckoning.
There are clearly lessons to be learned. The government took too long to react and called in the elite commandos far too late.
The energy apart, India as a whole learned a few lessons. One is that we must have a more decentralized system of dealing with terror attacks.
Since then, changes have been made to India's counter-terrorism plans.
Well, we are better prepared. Yes, we're better prepared than we were then. But I hope to God it's never tested.
Operation Black Tornado was a success for the Black Cats.
The NSG were really up against it. They were confronted with an enemy that had a number of hiding places, a lot of armory, and they did a great job to take them.
Even though they had minimal intelligence and faced a well-prepared enemy, they defeated the terrorists.
I remember seeing the NSG commandos in their sort of their black overalls, looking absolutely exhausted. You know, and I was in no doubt that these were some extremely motivated and brave men.
But about 100-odd men deployed, they knocked off 10 heavily armed terrorists. So the NSG's ratio of killing terrorists in such an operation, to my mind, would be perhaps one of the highest in the world.
It's a great organization. It has always come out, with flying colors in any operation they've been deployed.
And it is to their credit that they did this job with minimum number of casualties.
Operation Black Tornado shows terrorists and the world just what the Black Cats are capable of and the lengths they'll go to get the job done.